In the early hours of September 2, 1666, a small spark inside a bakery on Pudding Lane ignited one of the most catastrophic urban fires in European history. Within hours, strong winds turned a single blaze into a city-wide inferno, consuming London's wooden streets and medieval skyline. For 4 relentless days, the Great Fire reduced homes, churches, and landmarks to ash, leaving tens of thousands displaced. Yet from this devastation emerged a remarkable transformation: new laws, new architecture, and a new vision for a safer, stronger city. In 1666, London was a city poised unintentionally for catastrophe. Its medieval layout consisted of narrow, winding streets packed tightly with timber-framed houses that leaned inward, creating corridors of dry, combustible material. Most buildings were constructed with wood coated in pitch, a flammable substance used for waterproofing. After a long, scorching summer, the city was exceptionally dry, turning these structures into perfect fuel. The urban density meant that once a spark caught, flames could jump rapidly from home to home. Firefighting methods were crude and limited. London possessed no organized fire brigade, relying instead on parish volunteers equipped with leather buckets, hand pumps, and firehooks used to pull down buildings in desperate attempts to form firebreaks. These efforts, while traditional, were slow and often ineffective against large blazes. Adding to the tension was the lingering shadow of the Great Plague of 1665. Londoners were strained, anxious, and fearful, and rumors of foreign threats were easily believed. This atmosphere made the city not only physically vulnerable but socially fragile. All these factors, dry weather, flammable architecture, overcrowded neighborhoods, and inadequate firefighting, created the conditions in which a single spark could unleash unprecedented devastation. The Great Fire of London began in the quiet early hours of Sunday, September 2, 1666, inside the bakery of Thomas Fariner on Pudding Lane. Fariner, the king's baker, likely closed his ovens the night before without fully extinguishing the embers, a common practice but a dangerous oversight in a city built of wood. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, those lingering embers ignited nearby kindling, rapidly spreading flames throughout the bakery and adjoining rooms. Fariner and his family escaped through an upstairs window, but the fire had already taken hold. When local watchmen and neighbors attempted to intervene, the flames were too intense to control with buckets and hand pumps. A crucial missed opportunity followed when the Lord Mayor, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, was awakened and urged to authorize the demolition of surrounding houses, a standard but drastic measure to halt fires. He hesitated, famously dismissing the blaze as insignificant and refusing immediate action. Strong winds quickly transformed the small bakery fire into a roaring wall of flame. The tightly packed wooden homes of Pudding Lane acted as a perfect conduit, carrying the fire south and west toward the heart of the city. What began as a simple spark now threatened all of London. By dawn on September 2, 1666, powerful easterly winds fanned the flames across the cramped cityscape, sending burning debris soaring through the air. Structures ignited faster than firefighters could respond, and the narrow streets acted like funnels, directing the blaze deeper into the city. Leather buckets and hand pumps were no match for the towering flames, and firehooks used to pull down buildings often proved futile as sparks leapt across gaps with ease. For 3 relentless days, the fire consumed London's most iconic landmarks. St. Paul's Cathedral, a centuries-old symbol of the city, was thought to be safe behind its stone walls. But scaffolding surrounding it caught fire, and intense heat turned the building into a blazing furnace, causing its roof to collapse in a roaring avalanche of sparks. 87 parish churches, thousands of shops, and more than 13,000 homes were destroyed. Amid the chaos, crowds fled toward open spaces, Moorfields, Islington, and the banks of the Thames, carrying whatever possessions they could salvage. Samuel Pepys, the famed diarist, recorded scenes of desperation and confusion, noting how even the king and his brother joined efforts to create firebreaks using gunpowder. When the Great Fire finally subsided on September 5, 1666, the full scale of the disaster became painfully clear. Nearly 440 acres of central London lay in ruins. Although official records listed surprisingly few deaths, only a handful, historians believe the true number was likely higher, as many victims from poorer districts were never documented. What could be measured with certainty was the staggering material loss. Between 70,000 and 80,000 residents, roughly a quarter of London's population, were left homeless, their livelihoods reduced to rubble. The immediate aftermath descended into confusion and hardship. Banks, markets, workshops, and warehouses had burned, halting trade and plunging the city into economic paralysis. Makeshift camps sprung up on the outskirts, where families lived in tents or hastily built wooden shelters. Basic necessities, food, clothing, tools, became scarce, and rising prices deepened the struggle for survival. Social tensions also intensified. Fear and anger led some Londoners to blame foreigners, particularly French and Dutch immigrants, resulting in violent confrontations and wrongful arrests. Authorities worked to stabilize the city by restoring order, distributing supplies, and preventing further panic. Yet within the devastation lay unexpected consequences that would shape London's future. The fire had cleared many of the unsanitary slums where plague-carrying rats and fleas thrived, contributing to a decline in major outbreaks that had ravaged the city the year before. The destruction also forced leaders, architects, and planners to confront the weaknesses of the old medieval city. The fire had taken much, but it had also created a rare opportunity to rebuild London safer, cleaner, and stronger than before. In the wake of the Great Fire, London faced an extraordinary challenge to rebuild a shattered capital while ensuring such devastation could never happen again. What emerged was one of the most ambitious reconstruction efforts of the 17th century. Within days, King Charles II and city officials began drafting new building regulations aimed at preventing future disasters. Timber houses, once the hallmark of medieval London, were now replaced with brick and stone structures, materials far more resistant to fire. Streets were widened, lanes straightened, and open spaces preserved to help slow future flames. Among the visionaries shaping this new city was Sir Christopher Wren, whose architectural brilliance would redefine London's skyline. Wren proposed bold reconstruction plans, including grand boulevards and organized districts, though many of these ideas were ultimately too expensive or impractical for rapid rebuilding. Still, Wren's influence endured. He designed the magnificent new St. Paul's Cathedral and oversaw the reconstruction of more than 50 churches, blending elegance with durability. The government also enacted measures to support displaced citizens, from temporary housing to systematic property surveys that helped determine compensation. Markets, workshops, and infrastructure slowly returned, restoring economic life to the city. Over time, Londoners adapted to a landscape that was both familiar and transformed, safer, more orderly, and better equipped for the future. The Great Fire of London was a tragedy that reshaped an entire city. From the ashes of destruction rose a London rebuilt with stronger materials, wiser planning, and a renewed vision for safety and resilience. Its transformation marked the end of a medieval past and the beginning of a modern metropolis. As we reflect on this dramatic turning point, we see how disaster can spark innovation and lasting change. If you enjoyed this journey through history, be sure to like the video, subscribe for more historical stories, and comment below on which event you'd like us to explore next.